Alright, and after crashing out of the last replay, we are back with a whole new track. And there we go, a little bit of restarting the fraps was in order, and let's get over here. So, on this team here, we have a Lord General, an Inquisitor, and another Lord General. Just complete and utter Imperial Guard domination, look at this. 1, 2, 3... on the other team, slightly more balanced, we have the Chaos Lord, the Warlock, and the War Boss. Also noted, all 3 melee heroes. Meanwhile, this team only has 1 melee hero, going straight for a Sentinel build. Chaos Space Marines within the first 4 seconds of the match starting. And this man also going straight for a Sentinel. And this man moving out his troops before possibly starting building something? Maybe? I don't know. I mean, in general, it is the accepted.
Sir, we've spotted our mates.
There we go. Alright. So, just a little bit slow there. Has 2 Sluggers out, 2 Guardians, and Chaos Space Marines. Gonna be a lot of stuff flying around this battlefield. There's also some interesting changes in elevation around here. You see, we have a ladder there and a hill there. So those are definitely not places where you want to end up. And then here, yet again, we have the ups and downs of this map going into effect. This base has an elevation to the middle point. Then you go back down 2 stairs to get to the bottom lane, which has the requisition and another control point. Then tucked away here in the corner with a ramp leading up to it is a power node. Very interesting map, just because of the elevation changes, you know. And here it's up again, and there's plenty of cover all over the place, you know, for people to do their thing. This person chose to paint their army metallic. Just look at that. Ugh. I hate the way it glitters. Anyways, this is just a plain lobster red kind of an army. Just very nice and lobster-like. And they are building a turret straight away. Just go right into the turret building to try and protect that power node. That Sentinel being forced to flee from the double Warlock Eldar Guardian squads. Triple Guardian squad! Holy. And then of course the double Chaos Marine build here that we're seeing, getting the grenade launchers because they're not useful without it. And the orcs are just in one big clump around this point. In the meantime, we have 1 Lord General here getting his grenade launcher upgrade, this one not quite going for it, and the Inquisitor. And actually, the Inquisitor is dead. Dead, killed by the Warlock and the Eldars. Here we have the Chaos Lord fleeing from the generator when the General shows up with his troops. And triple Guardian squad. This is just odd, no Sentinel in there. This right here is the conventional build by michael.fisher. However, he's not doing so well. He lost his hero already and does not have the requisition required to resurrect. However, this being a 3v3, I'm sure his teammate, General Lord, will resurrect him, as is happening right now. And there you are. And another dead hero over here, specifically the Warlock being killed off by this massive ranged awesomeness. This turret has a pretty good covering range. However, the orcs are going to come around the side and probably avoid that. The interesting thing about the hills and all that is it messes with your field of view. So if you're on top, you can see all of this, but if you're down bottom, you can't see over the ledge. So we'll have to see what effect that will play on this game. Let's return to the default camera for this. And here we see the Sentinel going in, stomping, and run away. That War Boss is going to rape you. War Boss equals rapage. And as you can tell by the lack of war gear on the War Boss, or any of the units really, these are a bunch of low-tier players as far as levels go. However, very defensive here with the Lord General using his little grenade ability. Sentinel goes down as predicted. RuBz just not doing so well. That metallic yellow not working out for you, dude. Your guys do look like they're made of gold, though. Quite funny. I actually have quite an interesting color scheme that I'll show off to you guys next time I have an actual good game. Remains to see when that will happen. And here the Orc War Boss is getting taken down. Overextension. Horrible, horrible, horrible. here we have two lines of ranged infantry being broken up by a couple of grenades. So turret not really doing much to these combined Chaos and Elder forces, and some Rangers in the back there for sniper support, deploying a shuriken while the Imperial Guardsmen are going for their Tech 2. Erecting another turret really quickly in the hopes of assisting in the defense. The Chaos Lord, very hard to kill as mentioned in previous episodes. However, he is surrounded and goes down. Just very poor positioning out of all the players thus far. This turret so far not doing anything because it was not finished. The Guardsman squads got wiped. And this is just a complete massacre. I mean, honestly, there's turrets all over the place that are getting destroyed and poorly positioned. The Sentinel here is going to die without a question, and there's nobody really to back him up. Michael.fisher managed to lose all of his units. I mean, dear lord. Right now, it seems like they're completely on the back foot, and Red Team is pressing their Tier 1 advantage. Look at that. Full Tier 1 units. However, if you look, that is costing them millions. Not millions, but hundreds in their upkeep costs. Just loads and loads of upkeep for all of them because they spammed out so many units. However, it's very difficult to deal with 4 Chaos Space Marine squads. In fact, there's pretty much no way, especially once they all get their Zench bolters. Chaos Lord has the Combi Flamer. It's an alright upgrade, not as good as it could be. And here we just see massive Orc Blob, Shuriken Cannon going to deploy. Chaos is pushing bottom lane again. I mean, pretty typical game, and surprisingly enough, Blue is managing to control about half the map, a little under. If you judge by the control points, Red is obviously winning with such a heavy Tier 1. However, Stormtroopers and a Manticore coming out for the Imperial Guardsmen as well as Tech 2. Only player that's going Tech 2 on the other team is the Eldar, who is just idling around at base. This squad is fully healthy. This squad could get going, and so could that squad. And there we go. Now we shift around. Okay. And how are the Chaos? Chaos is going to be swinging up to the center of the Shuriken deployed to cover any attacks from this area. So if they want a chance, they'll have to go either from the bottom up or from the top around. Never mind. It moved. That turret being finished off by the fresh new squad of Guardsmen. Lobster red turrets, always nice. And they are building cover in front of it now. Not sure how far they will get with these defenses. Stormtroopers coming in, do not have their assault kit quite ready, and there it goes. Now it's ready, and you will see their lasers are firing much more quickly and doing a lot better in terms of damage. However, Inquisitor about to die. Nachtviech, I'm guessing. Nachtviech would probably be the closest, is going Tier 3. Not doing so well on units, losing everything but his Stormtroopers. Spectators sometime. Oh, there we go. They're just chilling around here, and they really should run the hell away. And there we go. We have a nice retreating Chaos Space Marine squad with 1 member left, and losing all of his units. The Imperial Guard are just doing so poorly in that sense. The Orcs just have way too many Sluggas for this to be a viable build. I really don't think that that's gonna do much for them, or at least it wouldn't if their opponents had any sort of troops. However, their opponents do not, so they're actually gonna probably do quite well. This Manticore could be positively deadly, just beaming down loads of missiles on top of the Autarch and the Chaos Lord. Autarch runs away, and Chaos Lord also doing about the same. Glitch happening here with no logo over his head. Shuriken Cannon set up perfectly to cover any sort of assault here and try and cover the Rangers who are sniping away. Inquisitor is down halfway through her upgrade. Stormtrooper squad coming in with the assault upgrade again. I mean, it's very hard to handle such a large blob of stuff usually, especially if you lose this many troops as Blue did. However, Blue is doing quite well on power. Look at that power score. She could definitely afford to get some Ogrins or something. Michael.fisher. Maybe he... Oh, and what do we have here being airdropped? Another squad of Guardsmen. Well, that's not going to help now, is it? Especially when you're running face first into a Shuriken Cannon, you tool. Oh my lord. No, you can't run face first into a shuriken. And oh, and there's the Manticore doing some work, taking out an enemy hero, but it really should have been used to take out this shuriken, since none of them can actually afford to... Actually, no, Michael Fisher can afford a squad of Catching Devils. I don't know why he does not do that, seeing as how they are awesome and would be perfect against such large blobs with their grenade launchers, hint, hint. Wraithguard coming out for DAIMON. Meanwhile, ours, if you translate that from Russian, assuming he is in fact Russian, is finally going tier 2. With while having a bunch of squads and no upgrades on any of them. Because that's the orc way. Hell yes. Orc, mork, gork, fork. Actually, the war boss is quite heavily upgraded. Custom shooter. Wow. Yeah, actually, he's been upgraded quite a bit. He would actually be quite good supporting all those sluggas. However, maybe he should have gotten a melee weapon. This Chaos Lord has the Lightning Claws, aka the best melee weapon that he can get. Nachtviech is level 3, but not really doing anything with it. Maybe he'll call in the big Bane Blade. And yeah, not a lot of action actually, surprisingly. I would figure a 3v3 would be far more action-packed than this, but here we have a nice turret just helping the Imperial Guard turtle some more. However, they are going to lose on victory points. Their turtle skills are not where they need to be. Ogren squad here for both RuBz and Michael Fisher. Very powerful. Michael Fisher standing around, moving out finally. These men deployed but in a poor position, and these men just moving into combat range, standing around at base, always useful. And there we are. They finally captured that point. So good for them. And the turret finally goes down. And yeah, this turret not really going to be much use particularly. Just because the enemies have now gotten past it. They did not build a sufficient wall, and here comes the Bane Blade, the super heavy 1,200. And to be honest, for that price, I would rather have a Great Unclean One and 200 extra minerals. Because the Great Unclean One is more powerful, I would say, than the Bane Blade. But it remains to be seen. Oh, look at all these orcs. Dear Lord, that is just a blob. Can we just... look at this? Can we look at it? Look at how many orcs there are. Look at this crap. This is ridiculous. I mean, look, what do we have here? We have a war boss and a bunch of sluggas. That looks like somebody got upgraded right there. Look at that guy. Just some very, very fearsome looking dudes. He has his boss pole on top, thereby boosting all of their damages. And just, wow. Blob of orcs. And look at this, I can zoom in so far that I'm inside the war boss's head. What is he thinking? Gork, mork, get him, boys. Alright, enough dicking around, let's get back to the game. This game is quite long, even without me pausing half an hour and some odd minutes. So, despite the fact that Blue is losing horribly right now, it seems like they're gonna do something because, well, the game lasts for a while. Currently, though, Michael Fisher is about to get his Ogren squad destroyed, goodbye 400 requisition, and he has a lot of power. He should really get some power-intensive units going. Maybe some war gear on this poor Inquisitor that's having a hard time with life. Lord General here, sadly dead. And this man without retinue just standing around, waiting for the Baneblade to complete. Ogren squad coming out for RuBz again, after losing his first one. As good as they may be. Oh, orcs just got decimated. Look at that guy, he's floating in the air. Look at him go. And oh, touching the ground once, twice, and settles down. That man went on an adventure, that's all I have to say, and his army just got destroyed. Thank you very much. And for whatever reason, I can't actually click on any of these due to another glitch that seems to be recently introduced to the beta, but yet again, I remind you guys, this is in fact a beta. And here comes the Bane Blade. 3750 HP. Compared to the Great Unclean One's 4000. I remember when the Great Unclean One came out, he was the only unit of that Great Monstrosity type, and it was near impossible to kill him, so maybe I'm a little bit biased, but so far it looks like this Baneblade is just doing work. With not as much work as it could be doing, yeah? And due to my extensive playing of World of Tanks, I can tell you that that is a very bad tank construction there. Just no angles to deflect shells at all. And, I don't know. Whatever, it's the future. They have lasers, man. Screw armor. Let's just put some oil barrels on the back of our tank. That sounds good. And Manticore shells coming down on top of nothing. Hell yeah. And Melta-guns. Why Meltas over grenade launchers? I will never know. The enemy does not have any vehicles, and the grenade launchers are ridiculously overpowered, to be totally honest with you. So completely unknown as to why that's happening. And here's the Baneblade just pushing on up. Shooting some squads here, you know. Just typical stuff. As you can see, it's not actually doing much damage despite the amount of effects that are coming out of it. However, it did manage to suppress them, which is quite nice. And Chaos Dreadnought and D-Cannon weapon team coming out to counter that, along with these Wraithguard, who could probably make short work of that poor thing. And double Manticores out for RuBz. And a Bane Wolf over here, which is the special ability of the Inquisitor to call that down. Still way too saturated on power, and let's just keep track of this thing. 750 damage has been done to it. This Chaos Lord in his Terminator armor, fully upgraded. And the Baneblade is just sitting because it's too fat to fit on stairs. However, the Ogrins are making a nice push. Eldar kind of doing a little bit of damage to them, but mostly these guys are about to run into this giant Chaos Dreadnought with a very menacing rocket launcher upgrade, and also, I guess he's going to use the Dreadnought to try and counter the Baneblade. That makes sense. Oh, is it gonna... Yup, there comes the artillery shell. There comes the artillery shell. However, just loads of grenades are going to push this thing back. And it's at 2,000 hit points right now. And here's a turret that's going to push that Guardian squad back. And, oh, Wraithguard almost dead. Should have killed him. Would have saved yourself a lot of trouble. And just heavy turrets everywhere. Nachtviech is really abusing his war score, I guess you would call it. Anyways, even more Ogrins coming out for RuBz, who just seems to like the Ogrin Manticore combination. Look at this, 2 Manticores. That is up to 6 missiles that can descend on any army on the field. This thing using its Bile Spewer equivalent to quickly make short work of all these orcs. Some tank busters coming out, but he just has so much power. 470 stockpiled, I mean, and not really using it on anything in particular. I figure he should probably have gone Tech 3 and gotten some knobs. Knobs can destroy Baneblades quite easily, sadly, but they can. And is that another turret that we are seeing? Yes, it is. 3 turrets and an artillery strike right on top of all of these Chaos forces. The Chaos Dreadnought left with 6 hit points. And is it going to go down? Oh, he must be the luckiest little Dreadnought in the world. He must be thanking his little Dreadnought granddaughter or something. I don't even know. But he is thanking the Chaos Gods, Zench, Slamash, and everything. And I definitely butchered some of those pronunciations. Oh yeah, and Korn. He's also thanking Korn. Without a doubt. But yeah, man. That guy is very lucky, and this is a mobile weapons platform that is designed to deal with armor, and look at that. Loads of model kills, but his actual weapons don't do that much. He does have 2 cannons that he can fire, though. Pretty powerful in that sense. However, you can deal with it if you get enough anti-vehicle type things, or Wraithguards. Wraithguards, very useful at dealing with it, if I haven't mentioned that quite enough yet. And just so many tank busters, so many troops here, oh my lord. The Orc Blob is about to get Manticored, I have a feeling. Let's just watch and enjoy the carnage. Oh, that is just such a massacre. The orcs have not lost a squad. The squads are still alive. And what was that just got dropped? Was that artillery doing absolutely nothing? I am unsure. However, that Ogryn squad should really be retreating right about now. They are not going to beat a war boss in melee. Maybe they're just trying to provide some vision for the Manticores to fire, because they should be ready right about now. Indeed they are. So, yeah. Oh, here comes some more Manticore fire. Oh, destroying those guys. Man. Double Manticores just being allowed to sit there and do damage to such large clumps of units. Generally not advisable. Not the best course of action, if you catch my drift. And some dead generals. Always nice to see those. General markers, however, not working. Common beta glitch. Been around forever. And here comes a shot. And what have we here? A Leman Russ. The Imperial Guard tank. Not quite as good as the Space Marine one. Probably on par with the Orc one. It can get a pretty nice cannon as far as upgrades go, but there's so much anti-vehicle in the game. I really don't see what it'll do. Still turtling over here. Got 3 cannons, the Baneblade, and a bunker. So basically, blue team is going to win on control points by turtling. That's my guess here. I mean, damn. Oh, there goes the Leman Russ. And here comes the Autarch. Just decimating that Guardsman infantry squad. Will it run away now that it has the upgrade? Who knows? Oh no, loses that whole squad and all the upgrades. Manticores firing right on top of the forces. And the Ogryns coming in to just bring in some more flesh-pounding action. And let's just speed this up a little bit here. Just because there's not really much going on. It's just the Manticores retreating and the Ogryns massacring whatever pushes forward. Here they're trying to get the control point. And not really going to go anywhere with that one per se. This is just such a turtle game though, I have to say. There's the Ogryns trying to deal with the Autarch. Autarch definitively better than them in melee. Chaos Lord is down, and here we have the War Boss advancing to try and take care of the Ogryns. Ogryns take care of those before they can cap the point, as blue's pretty low on victory points. And there they go, running on their merry way, calling in an artillery strike just to kill a war boss. Major waste of war points, I will say that. If he had waited a little while, he could have called it in on top of this whole mob. However, it doesn't matter, both Manticores are ready to fire, and I predict seeing some nice Manticore missiles about to be coming down. Not to mention them getting utterly massacred by flamers from the Bane Wolf and the infantry that just died. And the Bane Wolf's doing quite well on experience. Loads of anti-vehicle though, it has to really watch its back, and here comes the Manticore. Killing the War Boss outright, and here pushes the Bane Wolf again, getting another Ogryn squad and more Guardsmans. Everyone's pretty much Tech 3 at this point, getting some Fire Prisms in the hope of being able to take out whatever forces blue has and take back that control point. I mean, 60 to 249, and the Great Unclean one actually recently came out, so let's slow it down back to 1x. Here we have a properly upgraded Leman Russ getting some armor. Maybe a little late for that. A Bane Wolf being dropped, and the Great Unclean one. Alright, let me just pause this for a second. 6,125 hit points, 800 requisition cost. Compare that to this, which is 1,000 requisition cost and 3,000 hit points. Not to mention that not only does he have double the hit points, he also has stronger armor-ish and a cloud around him that does damage. It is utterly ridiculous, okay? Look at how much, look at this, he's got a whole Ogryn squad wailing on him, multiple tanks, probably going to have some Manticores called down on him, and still just chilling there. And he'd actually probably want some heretics to heal this bad boy up. Actually, he doesn't have the healing, that would be the Plague Champion. So yeah, kind of sucks for him in that way. I guess that's the benefit of the tank, is that it can be repaired by the guardsmen. So, maybe I'm just bitching about nothing. Yeah, probably. Oh, and look at this. Artillery strike coming down, hitting absolutely nothing again. Let's reiterate that. Nothing. Again. Maybe I should be slightly nicer, but whatever. And this turtle here still holding, just standing there doing nothing. And, I mean, yeah, they're ticking down. I mean, they do hold the control point, and the Great Unclean One goes down finally. I don't know why he didn't evac him. Must have been in desperation, or just complete lack of micro. I don't know. That was just sad. Let's speed this thing up again. Not interesting watching people turtle, but hey, they're winning, so yeah. Because there's no one in this game that's better at turtling than the Imperial Guardsmen, but you see a lot of anti-vehicle, and there it goes, dead. Even though they have basically no forces except for 3 Ogre squads and 2 Manticores, they can just sit here all day long because they have all of this turtling war score call down, or zeal. Now, I don't understand why the orcs don't call down rocks. They have full energy and full war score, and I really don't know what the orc player is doing. He's just bad. So I'm embarrassed that he's using Russian letters in his name. You, sir, are an embarrassment to your whole country. And there it goes. That thing is dead. The bunker's been blown up. Fire Prism's triumph. You can't turtle that, says the Eldar player, and just pushes forward, along with the Chaos Marines that'll actually be doing the capping. And yeah, what's an extra turret gonna do? I mean, seriously. These 3 fire prisms are going to destroy anything that you may ever put on the battlefield. Especially with building armor, just look at that. And what's this artillery strike gonna do? It misses completely. It doesn't hit anything. And their turtling strategy is now going to hell in a handbasket real fast, because he's 1,000 requisition out, and he's been paying maintenance that whole time, so he doesn't really have anything at all as far as troops. Has a Lehman Russ here that's just getting its upgrade, and a Guardsman squad. The only player that's holding them in the game is RuBz, and he just has a bunch of things idling at his base. I could say the same about the Orcs and the Eldar, really, but those aren't idling, those are healing. In the meantime, the Ogrins did sort of successfully push back those fire prisms. I missed that. They killed 2, only one of them left, really. Yeah, and now the Eldar player is getting angry at his teammates for being incompetent. But what can you do when you get the Manticores on top of you, eh? Nothing. And here comes the Lehman Russ tank. Very good against this exact thing. Chaos Space Marines, no problem, it says. I'll just pew-pew them with my laser. Pew, 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 pew. And yeah, we've been watching this game at 4x, which is why I probably missed that. The Chaos Predator tank is out with the Mark of Zench. With the Zench cannon. Oh, and here comes the super duper Eldar ultimate Spellamabob. And there comes an artillery strike on top of the tank and the fire prism. Fire prism holding up quite nicely. The tank, not so much. And deploying a turret, really, dude? That's not gonna help you. That's just a waste of your time. On the other hand, the airstrike does do quite well. I'm guessing one of the commanders. No, well, sniper rifle though. Interesting, it increases the range of everyone. And here we have the Ogren squad coming in, another one being spawned. And more Manticore abuse. Yay! If anything wins this game for blue, it will be the Manticores, but really at this point they're just drawing out the game. Another Lehman Russ tank coming out for 600 requisition, and another Baneblade coming out for Nachtviech. Another Chaos Predator coming out for 450, much cheaper than the Lehman Russ, I have to say, but probably not as effective. The Lehman Russ is a good tank, just very, very squishy compared to others, so it has to have a good army supporting it. You got to watch out for that. DAIMON's getting another Fire Prism, and the Orcs are doing nothing. Absolute nothing. They have 1,000 power, and they haven't even hit tier 3 yet. That is pretty embarrassingly bad play, I have to say. Sorry, buddy, but just you being from the same nation as me does not excuse that play, and that's even an assumption. Maybe he's one of those assholes who's like, haha, I'll be cool and use Cyrillic alphabet in my name. Who knows? There's plenty of those, and then there's even worse. There's the people who try and translate their name or whatever, and it just ends up being a bloody mess. Anyways, Ogren's getting pushed back a little bit. Oh, a Chaos Circle coming up. Massive damage to that one squad, and taking out the Inquisitioner, of course. Lord General, not really going to do much. That is the ultimate damage-dealing AoE that Chaos has. However, he might be able to provide sight for the Manticores to be able to fire again. Such large amounts of Manticore abuse. And yeah, the extra armor is really broken because all it gives you is energy. And when your energy ticks down, that means you just lose that armor. So it's not as effective as one could think, especially for the price. Generally just unacceptable. Here comes the Manticore strike though, just pushing them back. However, with only 3, 2, 1, the Turtlers lose. And yeah, I mean, that wasn't as action-packed as that other 3v3, but that's just because both teams turtled and really abused their specials. So, yeah, that's that. And yeah, I fast-forwarded through a lot of it, but that's just because it wasn't that interesting. Not a lot to commentate on there. And is the game going to crash on me again? That would be quite unfortunate.